Alright everybody, we are back with the Post-Human Republic Army, and today I'm working on the infantry. I think these are the immortals. And after priming, I gave them all a base coat of P3 Menoth white base. And that was with the airbrush, but I mean obviously you can just brush paint that on. And then a coat of Agrax Earthshade over that to provide some shadows. That's drying right now. But then I go back over it with the Menoth white again to pick out the highlights. Let's see if I can. Oh, that's a little bit more light. So that picks out the highlights a little bit, and then creates a nice look to it, and then add in the. I actually used bolt gun metal on their weapons, and then went back over that again with Nuln oil. And yeah, these guys are really small. So let me see if I can. So here's a 28mm figure for size comparison. Yeah, so they're pretty tiny. And so I'm just going to go through and get the rest of these painted. Interestingly enough, it wasn't until after I was about halfway through doing these guys that I discovered what I really want to use for the vehicles, at least as far as base color goes. But that is going to be a bit different than this. A little more red to it, a little less yellow. But I'll talk about that more when we get to it. And for now, let me go back and work on these guys. So right now I'm just going back and filling some of the crevices that didn't get filled the first time through with the Vallejo texture gel. I really just don't want to see the where the metal base hits the resin base, and there was a few areas where the line was evident, and so I want to fill those back in before I move on to painting the base on this. By the way, for those of you who are wondering, I did get in contact with Hawk Wargames. They were at the Gamma trade show, and when they got back, I got an email, and they promised to send replacement parts for all of the miscasts. So that's looking good on the customer service front. We'll see how quickly we get those, and then we can get down to finishing up the rest of this army. The infantry here are pretty nice. A little bit of fill, but I mean really they're so small it's very hard to see when there's any issues with them. So I'm happy with how these are turning out, and I'm gonna go finish filling the rest of that, but I'm gonna have to let that dry a bit too before I get to painting. And I'll probably do a dark earth brown, and that'll contrast well with the light power armor that we got going on there, and that should pretty much finish these guys up. So I'll show you those when I'm done. And here we go. The bases were really just a few steps. The core color being earth brown from Joe Sonia, washed with little Agrax Earthshade, and then dry brushed with a mixture of earth brown and Menoth white base. After that, I just glued on some of this Gale Force 9 Meadow Blend Flock, and just little dots here and there, pretty much like they have it in the Dropzone Commander book. And there you are. You got your 10mm infantry all ready to go. So obviously this is going to be kind of a short update, and I'll be doing more next week, hopefully with the new parts to replace the poorly cast ones that I got, and we'll get started on all of the armor. But that's going to be it for today, and I will talk to you later.